Alright, you're back with comedian David Boyle. The Boyle. That's what I tried to name myself. The Boyle. Le Boyle. I tried to give myself that nickname. Le Boyle. Le Boyle. I started pushing it on my mates. Didn't really stick. It stuck with a couple of them, but most of my mates weren't interested. They just kept calling me dog cunt. So where are we? What are we doing? It's Monday. Monday, bloody fucking Monday. And I'm not at work. And I'm going to let you in on a little bit of a secret. I didn't work all last week either. I am fucking out of work at the moment. My boss called me up and he's like, there's not going to be any crane work for the next couple of weeks. And with the rigging work, we're going to use some other guys. I'm like, hey, you just do what you need to do. You do what's best for the company. Before this, whenever they ran out of crane work, they tried to get me as much rigging work as possible, just to keep me in work. But I think they were picking up my vibes. I think they started catching on that I was not interested in being there at all. And I'm fucking not. I'm not interested in being there at all. I'm not completely out yet, but I don't think they're that excited with me either. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Have you ever heard anyone so happy to lose their job? And let me tell you this as well. It's not like I can afford it either. I can't afford to be out of work, but I also can't afford to be fucking suicidal 7 days a week. So I'm just going to have to roll the dice and see what the fuck happens. We'll see how fucking chirpy I am in a month, eh? See how fucking arrogant I am in a month. Hopefully the coronavirus sweeps through Australia. There's enough fucking Chinese here. Surely one of them can bring it over. Coronavirus sweeping through Australia is like my best case scenario. Everyone else is scared. I'm praying. So what are we up to? Monday, I usually tell you about some shitty fucking job I had to get you through your Monday. Because I've pretty much only had shitty jobs. But I'm starting to run out of jobs. Eventually I'm going to have to move over to crimes. But I'm not too sure how long the statute of limitations are in Australia. I don't think we have a statute of limitations here. Not that I did anything that bad anyway. Depending on how broken your moral compass is, I suppose. One way we used to make some drinking money was doing market researches. We used to do them all the time and they were the fucking best. We were signed up to every single market research place in fucking Sydney. At all ages as well. I was signed up as like a 35-year-old with 5 kids. I was signed up as like a housewife. So they would just call me for fucking any old thing. The market research companies would call you up and they would ask you a bunch of fucking questions. And there was like 4 of us. So one of us had to pass the phone interview. So if the first one failed the phone interview, he would call up the next person and say, all right, don't answer this question to this one, you'll fail it. And then if that guy failed, he'd pass it on to the next one. So someone would eventually pass the phone interview. Then what we would do is we would call up the market research place under another name and then pass the interview. So there would be like 3 or 4 of us in market research for home loans, and we're like early 20s fucking shit kickers. And then you would go into the market research offices. There would be about 10 of you in the market research. 4 of us would be in there. They would put on a fucking feed, usually Subway sandwiches, chopped up into smaller bits, and we would just be fucking nailing them. And they would put on fucking booze too, so you would be getting hammered in this market research. Your names are different. Like I would be like Steven, and I'd be hammered, and I'd forget my name's fucking Steven. And the market research guy will be like, Steven, what do you think about this? Like, look at me dead in the eye, and I'm staring at him going, who the fuck is he talking to? Steven, what do you think? I'm like, what? Who the fuck's Steven? Aren't you Steven? Because that's what your name badge says. I'm like, oh, Steven, yeah. Yeah, I really love my home loan. I think it's great. They're like, that's not the question. I'm like, I don't fucking know. I wasn't listening. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. The whole thing in the market researches was just to get through it without talking. You only speak when you're spoken to. If they ask you a question, just get in and out of there as quick as you can. Give them enough to take the heat off you. Because you have to interact to get your fucking money at the end. So you do have to give them a bit, but we would just fuck up all the questions. If they made you look at 4 different things, you would choose the shittest one. You would just go against every instinct you had. They would be between like an hour and 2 hours. And by the end of it, you're like, get me the fuck out of here. We've drunk all the heavy beers. Now we're on light beers. Let's get the fuck out of here. Give me that envelope. And at the end of the market research, they would hand you over an envelope with some cold, hard cash in it. It would range between $100 to $200 for a couple of hours market research. And we would be doing a lot of these. We'd be doing it like a couple a week. But all it would do was fund that night's drinking. We'd walk out of there. We've all got 150 cash. We're half cut. We're fed. We're like, let's fucking go. And so that's one of the ways you can fund your drinking when you have no money and you're unemployed. Which, the way I'm going, I might have to sign up for fucking market research again. Maybe even some fucking medical testing. Some fucking experimental procedures on how to grow your fucking hair back would help. Not all of it either. I don't need it to be luscious. Just give me half of it back. Just give me enough so I can grow it like 3 inches and it doesn't look like a fucking old Chinese man's wispy beard. Alright, that's it for me today. I am done. Add me on social media. I am Boyle Comedy on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Subscribe to the podcast, rate, review it, do that shit. Tell your friends about it, and I'll see you fucking later.